What's going on, everybody? Not really sure what I got planned, but I am definitely gonna do something. I want to do a compression test on the wagon since the catch can video, because the car has excessive blow by, running the car, making power with no catch can. It might have messed something up, but I'm gonna do the compression test and just kind of figure out what's going on with the car. If it's something I can fix today, I'll fix it. If it's not something I can fix today, I'll probably start sometime this week to tear it apart and further diagnose my issue. But like I said, don't really have much to do today. I think what I'm gonna do though, I've been watching a lot of ZOSH's video, and if you notice, he has a 90 elbow with a flange adapter pipe to another 90 elbow, which is dumbass long for one, and then it's also in 3-section for the second part of it. So what I'm gonna do is, since I have a bunch of like spare scrap pipings, well, these are not scrap, they're just spare pipings, I'm gonna make him a charge pipe, and I'm gonna send that. So ZOSH, I know you're new to turbo and everything, and I've had my fun runs with it. As you can see, like all this crap sitting here. Your blower valve is a Greddy type RS, or sorry, type RZ. This is just a, I don't know, type S or some shit, but the flange are the same. So what I'm gonna do is I'm literally building this from scratch, so I'm not really like losing money on it or using any money on it. I got a plate traced out right here of the flange, and I'm gonna make 2 of these so it can be as thick as this guy right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go through my scrap bin and get a 1.5 or 2-inch diameter piping to adapt to the flange. My hair tie. Adapt the flange to the pipe, and I'm gonna make this pipe the same length as this guy, because this is an EG, and an EG is the same as DC. So I'm gonna replicate this pipe from scratch, and I'm gonna send it your way, bro, because I'd like to earn my shout out, whatever it takes, right? So I'm gonna go and tie my hair up, braid it up, and then get down with some measurements and welding. Now I'm ready. So pull the plugs out. Definitely not dabbed in any type of oil whatsoever. Not sure what that leaves me to believe, but I am going to do a compression test anyways, just because this is all out. Throttle down, compression tester in the cylinder, crank it for I think like 5 to 7 revolutions, but I'm going to crank it until the gauge stops and see what my readings are. So the compression test, cylinder 1, 2, it's probably the other way because crank's over here, so 4, 3, 2. This 2 guys were in the 240. This one's at a little over 90 psi. I did it twice. It's reading the same. Injector clips off, coil packs off, wide open throttle, dry crank. That's what it was reading. So I just redid the compression on cylinder 2 with a cap of oil of Rotella. Not that cap, well, that cap, but like half of that. Dumped into the cylinder. Now it's a wet test, and the compression just bumped up twice the number from 90. It's right here at 170 ish, and that means that it's possible that the ring lands fucked up on the piston, because originally, if the ring land was bad and I did a dry compression test, the compression is, you know, bypassing the ring lands because it's busted, causing a low compression. Putting the oil into the cylinder on top of the pistons, ideally if the compression bumps up, that means the ring land is bad, because now the oil, it's sealing the cracked ring land to hold the compression in place. If I had oil in the cylinder and I did a compression test and it was still reading 90, then the compression is escaping somewhere else. You know, for example, it could be escaping from like the valve seals. So because the number bumped up, piston, ringland, motor's gonna come out, and now I gotta figure out what is it that I am going to do with this motor. So with this car, I'm probably not going to pull the motor out probably for another 2 weeks, because Shikai Japantown is coming up and the car is registered for the show, so I need the car driving for another 2 weeks so I can take it to the show, which isn't going to be bad to drive with the smoke because it's local here. After that show, then I'm going to pull it apart. So the problem turns out to be the ringlands, and you know, regardless of the fact, the motor has to come out anyways. And while I'm at it, I am probably going to do piston rod setup, just because everything's all apart and I don't want to have to do it twice. So the car's gonna stay running. I'm gonna detail it, throw my spoons on there, adjust my ride height and all that for Shikai, and then it's gonna go like off season. No more car shows, no more race events and stuff until next year. And that gives me enough time to get down with the build and do everything that I've always wanted to do on this car. So in the meantime, I am going to start doing the fabrication for ZOSH's ass, because I'm tired of seeing all those cups and clamps that he has on his fucking cold side charge piping. So I got a bunch of these. They're mostly 45-ish bends. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these straight cuts right here, cut some pie cuts out of it, add it to these guys to make it a 90. So that way we're talking about two 90s here to come out of the throttle body going towards the passenger side frame rail before it goes around the frame rail to the intercooler. If I had the car or an EG to fab the rest of the fucking charge pipes, I would, but I don't. So I'm going based off of just this charge piping, because this is a DC unit. This is all I can go based off of, because this is all I have. First off, I gotta cut out that flange. Okay, so this is the first flange that I just made out of 0.125 thickness aluminum material. What I'm going to do actually is, like I've mentioned, is cut another one out, double it up, weld the seam shut, and grind it down so that way it's, you know, just as thick as the blowout valve itself. And then cut the hole out and then start doing the charge pipes. Alright, so right now, instead of using two 45s to cut in half and make a 90 with the pie cuts, I just made a ton of pie cuts to make a 90. It'd be nice to have a, you know, pie cut looking charge pipe anyways, I think. But anyways, so this is the top portion. Now I'm just going based off his video and like his pictures and stuff, or just his video that I screenshot. Using my mock-up engine right there, I'm just kind of guesstimating where his pipings are going and where it's bending at, so I can make it somewhat for him to just install the piece instead of trying to move, cut, and twist, bend, whatever the fuck you got to do to make this work. But I'm making this a tad bit longer because I noticed that his charge pipe was sitting really close to the distributor, so it's going to be a little bit longer to kind of push it out. I'm still going to keep it in the same formation as this one and bending at the same spot. I got a couple more pies. I'm going to use the 45 for the bottom. Here I got the double flange, DIY flange, that I'm going to weld right here in the middle all the way across, and then I'm going to sand it flat so that way it's two to make one unit. And then I'm going to drill the hole out. And you can see it's just like this one, just a tad bit smaller, but it's just like this one. And then I'm going to go ahead and make a custom DIY little bottom tube here, because I thought I had some under the cart, but I don't. But we'll make it work. This is pretty much like a charge pipe, scrap charge pipe build, I guess. But I'm going to go ahead and mock up the rest of this stuff. So this is somewhat matched up to the left charge pipe right here. And I was just watching one of his other videos. He was saying that he wanted the charge pipe from the throttle body to where it goes under the frame rail to be one unit, because he has a cup here and then he has another cup 90 that goes to the intercooler. So he has a cup. I hope my measurement is all somewhat correct. Somewhere right here is where the end of his transmission is at, and then it goes under the frame rail, which is this section that I added to extend further out, because that's where his coupler is at. His cup is right under the frame rail, so somewhere right here is his transmission, and then his cup is here somewhere. So 2 or 3 inches of this this pipe is going to go into his cup, but this pipe that I'm making for him is for him to eliminate the cups and T-bolt clamps that he has all over the place. He wants his wastegate to be on the top. ZOSH don't even know I'm building this shit for him. I'm just doing it because I ain't got nothing else to do for a video. So now I'm gonna clean up all of this crap and all the mess that I made on the floor, pull that sucker in and close the garage and do all the welding, because when the crickets are out, the crackheads are out. So the charge pipe fell apart in the middle somewhere here. I don't know which way it is, but I got it all tacked up. The pie cuts looking good. I ran out of acetone, so I don't have any acetone to clean the pipe, even though it's doing really well with the cleaning action. You can see that right there, the frost white around the puddle. It's all tacked up. It's getting late, so I'm gonna continue this tomorrow just because I don't want to be in the garage all night. For the most part, it's tacked up. I'm gonna do it in 2 sections and do the middle one last, because aluminum absorb heat really quickly. So do sections at a time, pull that off, let that cool, do these, pull that off, let it cool, then cycle between the 2. I went to go get some acetone today. I think what I'm gonna do first before I touch all of these is I'm gonna drill out this hole for this flange, and then I'm gonna weld this together. I'm gonna take like a scrap aluminum, right? I'm gonna cut it right in the middle and get like, I don't know, maybe this right here to bend this aluminum to be circular to the diameter that I want it to be to fit the blow-off valve, right? So like whatever, this is 1 3/4. So bend that into the size of this, and then weld that together. So then I'd have my aluminum tube to add to the neck part of the flange, then weld it on. So I'm gonna do all this first, and that way I don't have to stop welding to make the rest of the piping for the blow-off valve and stuff. So I'm gonna knock all that out, so when I weld, it's just gonna be straight welding. So I got the 2-piece flange welded up to 1 unit. I'm gonna let this bastard cool down real quick, and then I'm gonna mount it back up on the blow-off valve. I bought a new flap disc, so I'm gonna hopefully get some better grinds out of this to make it nice and clean on the blow-off valve before I drill it out. And then once I drill this out, I'll add that little neck portion to this flange before putting it on the charge pipe. So with that being said, I will get you guys some welding footage in just a second. I didn't want to sit here and record that little thing, so I'm gonna record when I'm welding the charge pipe. He ain't even ready. I don't think he even knows. I'm definitely going to put this on the belt sander, because you can see the little fray after using that hole saw. I want to flat this flange down before like sending it off or whatever, but I'm actually going to like leave the welds on here because it actually gives it a little bit of character. I might just clean it up and get all that contamination off right there. I don't know if you can see it, all that contamination on the weld off, and just leave it raw like that. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of this one actually. So the welding of the 2-piece was because obviously you can see the line on the inside. That'll be like a seal on the outside to make sure no air escape between the 2-piece. And yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. Leave a comment if you guys think that looks pretty cool raw like that, or if I should have sanded it down. I think it looks cool like that. So 1.5, just split right down the middle, and I used a socket right here, pretty big size socket, and I wrapped the pipe around here, and then I viced it in place, and then used a mallet to kind of hit it around the socket to form this circular, smaller diameter circular pipe. Right now it's not all the way in, obviously, because I need to cut right here to massage it in. So I'm cutting a little bit bigger than where it should have been at, so I can just trim it to fit. So once I get this all fitted up, obviously I'm gonna weld it, and after I weld it, then it's go time. So I just ran this through the belt sander, nice and flat. This is all welded up. The seam right here was welded. I got to clean the inside a little bit right there, but it's nice and flat right there. That goes on there like so, nice and flushed. He has a gasket, which is probably going to overhang this flange, which, I mean, you can always trim it or use gray RTV. I use gray RTV, never really had an issue. So that goes on there like so. I'm gonna take a flap disc right here and sand that to the curvature of the pipe, because I don't trust putting this on the drill press, because it might just catch one of the teeth and disappear in the garage somewhere. So this is turning out really well. My brother's doing laundry, so I got to get started on the charge pipe like right now. So this is beveled. Now I'm gonna weld everything. So on every single cut, there's a bead on the front side and the back side. My brother has to do laundry, so I got to take off the 220 volt. This is all welded up. This is the top side where it goes into a throttle body. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I didn't do the back side. It was getting hot because it's a small unit with a lot of pies on it, so a lot of heat went into that. Let him do laundry, let that cool down, then I will continue. God damn, this is my time. I'ma get it, I'ma do it till we prime time. So hopefully I got enough clip for you guys to check out some welding action, but so all the cuts are welded in. Some are looking and a lot are looking like goddamn, right? So I was supposed to do this earlier in the day, but ZOSH FaceTime me. Long ass fucking talk later. It is now dark. I spoke to him. I'm probably going to attempt to make him a hot side charge pipe. He took some measurements for me on FaceTime, so I got a brief idea of, you know, measurements to make this pipe work for him on the cold side. And now he knows that I am building this for him. Because he FaceTimed me. I figured I'd just kind of show him what I'm doing for him. But yeah, so I'm gonna cut the yapping, get this measured up, get it welded up, and well, there you have it, guys. Everything is fully welded. Check it out. Homemade flange, baby. So this is made just like the other piping somewhere, and it's extended on the bottom. And ZOSH took a measurement for me, and this leg is 8.5 inches on his car. This is 8.5 inches, and now this is all eyeball, and apparently it's going to, it seems like it's going to work. So blow-off valve system on the top. He said it clears his hood. This should too. So give you guys another look. Just random materials lying around. I think it came out pretty cool. So I'm gonna end this video with just this pipe. I'm just gonna do the hot side piping off camera. Obviously it's late. Shouldn't be like long to make the other one, so I'm gonna hit that one tomorrow. For the most part, this part is done. Hey ZOSH, if you're watching this, bro, and I know you are, I hope you enjoy that piece, and I hope that it fits in your car and application. And if you guys want to see more fabrication videos, leave a comment below and let me know if you guys do or don't. Well guys, I'll see you in the next video.